Hello, my friends. Hello, my friends. I've missed you guys. Let me move this just a little bit more. Just a wee bit more. Long time no see. I am still alive. I've gotten some DMs and some emails like, "Are you good, girl?" I'm good. I am here. I took a little bit of a break because one, I was in Panama. I was on vacation. Deeply amazing experience. You know how when you travel somewhere else, you kind of have access to other parts of yourself, as within, so without. Being in places that you haven't been in before, you get to see who you are in a different context. You get to see where you are with different energy, different circumstances. The layout of your day is different, so you get to kind of explore. You kind of get a little bit of a blank canvas, and for that alone, I made sure to really dedicate that trip to exploring all the other corners of myself. I love to travel for that purpose. I love being on planes because my meditations are crazy on planes. And yeah, so that's where I was. And then the other reason I've been taking a little bit of a break is because I haven't had a strong signal, if that makes sense. I'm in a transition period. I'm in a period between eras right now. And I think the collective at large is. And I really want to fill those things with my full attention and my full awareness. This practice of creating videos has to align. I don't want to get into just making stuff for the sake of making stuff. It really is an expression of alignment. So, yeah, I'm alive. I'm good. Thank you guys for checking in. I challenge everyone to defy what you've known to be true. Defy what you've known to be true about work, about having to put in effort to get what you need. Imagine that we're actually meant to have what we need in the time frame we're meant to have it. And imagine that the world that we've spawned into, the simulation, is rooting for us, is and always wants to continue to propel us on the timeline that is designed, as long as we know how to surrender and be silent to it. That by doing nothing, by reducing the noise, by finding emptiness, nothingness, spaciousness, the answers will come up through us. The required and aligned action will make itself known. It's not something that our brains have to beat itself against the wall for and come up with and scheme the next appropriate action. We are not broken and the mind needs to fix us, or we need to employ the mind to make ourselves more whole, or, more healed and less broken. What if that's not actually the case? What if silence, rest, nothingness is actually where we're supposed to be it's supposed to be our source. It's where we're supposed to get our answers from. Imagine that. Imagine that, but we've been indoctrinated in a way that tells us that we have to exert force and action to create peace. When peace is actually within us, we just have to get quiet enough to perceive it. It's there. It's that at that bottom layer all the time. It's at that bottom layer within us at all times, but so few of us can get to it because we have all these other paradigms telling us that there are other ways to go about it. Things have been really interesting. And I want to start by talking about something that happened at 3 a.m. this morning where I was playing in that liminal space. And there have been times in the past 7 or 8 years ago when I was very deep and focused in my spiritual journey. I was very much in those layers and I was kind of ignoring the physical realm. I was very much inside and I was playing in that space. I used to have a lot of lucid dreams. I used to explore that liminal space often and I would go in and get information I needed and come out. It's been 8 years or 9 years since I've been in that space. So it was interesting to find myself back there. I've been working on getting back there, but last night it was very, very clear to me. I was able to receive my knowledge, the knowledge that lives within all of us, the source knowledge, the God intelligence, all of that information that's there for all of us. I was able to swim in that. I was able to listen to that. I was able to be awake, like fully awake, but taking all the advantages of being slightly asleep. The big takeaway that I kind of gained that I was sitting in this morning that I just want to share with you guys is this idea of sacred nothingness, sacred removal of effort, removal of tension, removal of action that we in this freaking capitalistic and colonial society have really gotten away from. Paradigms that we are brought into and that's affirmed by the structures and systems around us are that effort equals output, that doing things, that we need to be building ourselves, we need to be creating ourselves, we need to be checking these boxes, you need to get up and do XYZ in order to get your desire, in order to feel love, in order to feel peace and safety. You have to do these things, you have to do in order to get. And I've been unraveling and deconstructing a lot of these imperialistic ways of thinking, but last night it came to me on a body level. It came to me on a subconscious, physical, nervous system level. The information, the data communicated to me in that way, in that realm. And it reminded me that you can, oh man, how do I get this message out? Silence. The release of the need to act and do. Sometimes it's, can you get your dial all the way to zero? It's can you turn all the noise down all the way to complete silence so that you can just hear, so that you can receive the rush of data? Can you release that urge of your muscles to tense up? I specifically received the sensation of a weight being laid over my body. And in that moment, I was given two options, two routes of how to engage and respond to this sensation. And there was one kind of knee-jerk, patterned reaction of wanting to like feel it, of wanting to touch it, of wanting to be like, what is this I feel on me, and wanting to audit it, like I needed to do something in order to understand and gain more information. That was one approach. But then the other approach that I could feel I was being led toward is to do nothing, is to allow my body to stay at a zero, to reduce all noise, all tension, all action from the body, and to just be in a 100% space of receiving, of surrender, of auditing. And I realized choosing that approach, choosing option B, option 2, I was able to receive and intake so much data. I was able to understand the nature of this weight more profoundly than if I were trying to feel it, if I were trying to put action to it. But if I were to just, it's uncomfortable to stay relaxed. It's uncomfortable to say I'm going to do nothing and surrender and keep my defenses lowered and just observe. That was a harder decision to make, but I could feel that that was the right one. I could feel that there's something to it. There's something to that. And the last thing I kind of want to say is that I know there is tension and resistance to doing nothing based on the society we live in the world that we're kind of coming up in. It feels counterintuitive to do nothing and expect everything to come. It feels counterintuitive to remove the self and let spirit work and let your world heal. It feels wrong, So that's why I say there's a big recalibration happening, a leaning and a walking toward the sacred nothingness, remembering and deconstructing these ideas that, I just need to work harder, I just need to try harder, I need to this. Work will come, and this was another message that came to me, work will come from that space of surrender. You only want the outcome of the work that comes from that space, from that frequency of peace, of relaxation. You don't really want an outcome that comes from the frequency of tension, of fear, of scarcity, of feeling like, I'm doing this because I need to do this. You can do that and get an outcome, but an outcome will have the residual frequency of that negative vibration. When you can go back to the source, you can unravel, you can start with nothingness, you can start with peace. Find that in your body. Find real surrender. Real surrender. And there's so much that I could unpack in this message. But find real surrender. Let it rush in. Find comfort in nothingness. Find comfort in knowing that when you go to complete zero, God is still in the room. God is oftentimes more in the room. So you can hear more. You can receive more. Sometimes we get caught up in that cycle of doing and doing and doing and doing to get to that outcome. Make sure you find that silence and create that spaciousness of just nothingness. And then allow work to grow from that. Allow action to grow from that space. I was starting to feel a lot of tension about what I was going to make a video about, what I was going to put out, since it's been a while. And I have all these things recorded, but the frequency isn't there anymore because it's weeks away, and I'm changing so fast that I can record something on Tuesday, and by Saturday I no longer resonate with the frequency. So it's like a lot of stuff gets discarded. I have to record new things, and the paradigm that I was operating from over the past however long had a sense of like perfection and scarcity around those things, had trouble dealing with and managing those things. But today I understand a little bit different. The message just came through very potent last night in my body. I was able to sit there and toss and turn for about an hour and just explore this space and just receive information. I was able to ask questions and receive the answers from within. I managed to get quiet enough to hear, and for that I'm grateful. It can honestly be a little jarring sometimes to see how potently the messages will come to you if you ask for them. Sometimes it makes you want to be like, whoa, slow down. Go easy on me. Bring me in gradually. Talk to me gradually. Because my thing is, if I start to really focus and connect to source in that way, it's a flood. But you know what, y'all? I think I'm gonna let the flood in. It's been a while. See how much I've grown in 9 years. But anyway, I'm gonna be making more videos. I kind of want to tell you guys about the Panama trip. We're going through a lot of changes. And yeah. Another thing I'll tell you guys is that I'm working on something really cool, and that's also why I've been kind of slow with videos. But I'm working on something related to art magic, creative alchemy, creative transmutation, quantum creation. I've been exploring certain arenas specifically via my art practice for years now. I've been engaging in learning and studying and building upon certain practices, and I want to make them known. I feel like for a long time I was guided to practice in silence, but as the days go on, as the weeks go on, I want to package it. I want to make it accessible. I want more people to see and experience these other paradigms, these other ways of seeing the world. I want more people to understand the magic that exists in this realm. I want people to understand the magic that they have at their fingertips. I want them to understand the nature of energy, the nature of creation, of transmutation, of anchoring, of linking, of modeling. I want them to understand the work that's being done here in this studio. I want people to have in their hands. People are going to feel all their different ways about it, but I at least got to get it out. So that's what I'm working on. A couple of things related to creative alchemy. It feels radical, but we really are being called to do less, a lot less. Go down to complete silence and see how much further that can get you than the frantic running. I love you guys so much. Thank you for the stragglers who are still here after my not being here for a while. But I missed you guys, and I'm excited to start posting again and talking to you guys again. I want to do that from a more open space, from a more aligned space. So we keep going. We keep practicing. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a comment. It helps. Like the video. Send it to somebody. Send it to your mama. You know what I mean? Tell your mama to subscribe. Tell your daddy to subscribe. Tell your baby mama and your baby daddy to subscribe. Tell everybody. Tell your auntie. Tell your uncle. Okay? But I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.